Now when I say Eterna, some of you might say, who? And some of you might say, oh yeah, I know that brand. Eterna is one of those brands that have kind of gone under the radar, but if you know, you know. So what happened to them, and why aren't they as well known as they should be? Eterna were founded in 1856 by Joseph Gerard and Jules Schilt. It didn't officially become Eterna until 1905. In 1932, Eterna set up a subsidiary company called ETA, or ETA, the same ETA that produces hundreds of movements for the best watch brands in the world. Some noteworthy achievements from Eterna which I should mention. In 1908, they filed a patent for the world's first alarm wristwatch. They produced the smallest production wristwatch with a baguette movement in 1930. In 1948, they developed the Eterna-matic automatic movement. The use of 5 strategically placed ball bearings made the movement very efficient and significantly reduced the resistance on the oscillating weight. This reduced the wear and tear on the internal parts, increasing the watch's accuracy and lifespan. So important to them that they still use the depiction of 5 ball bearings today as their logo. In 1947, they introduced the Kontiki line in tribute to the expedition of the Norwegian explorer Thor Heyerdahl, who wore an Eterna on his expedition. In 1962, they produced the thinnest men's automatic watch featuring a date complication, the Eterna-matic 3000 Dato, measured in at just 3.6. These are some pretty impressive credentials, so why aren't they well known? And why don't you see them in the shops alongside Breitling, Omega, Tudor, and other big Swiss brands? This is my Eterna Royal Kontiki flyback chronograph. That's right, this watch has an in-house flyback chronograph movement. You usually have to pay big bucks for this kind of movement. For example, the Zenith El Primero flyback chronograph is going to set you back around £4,000 to £5,000. And for around £50,000, you can get yourself an Erlangenzonger 1850. Patek Philippe will set you back hundreds of thousands of pounds. You get my point. But if you are lucky, you can pick up one of these for between £2,000 to £3,000. That's a complete steal. One of the really interesting aspects of this watch is the sub-dial at 3 o'clock. It features both the minute and hour hands for the chronograph. As the minutes tick away, the hour hand shows itself. The dial has a beautiful grey sunray texture reaching out to the edges of the face. It features an open case back showing the Eterna caliber 3916A. It has 100 meter water resistance, flat sapphire crystal surrounded by this highly polished bezel, which is a bit of a scratch magnet if you weren't careful. Personally, I think the reason Eterna hasn't found their fame is because I don't think they have found their identity yet. They are still going with the Kontiki line. I mean, no offense, but who's heard of the Kontiki boat used by Thor for the expedition? It's not like the famous moon landing where the Omega Speedmaster rightly gets its fame. I think Eterna should move on from the Kontiki line and come up with something completely different and new. They need to find their look. With all the most famous watch brands, you could remove the logo from the dial and people would still know who the brand was just by the look of the watch. All in all, I think it's a shame Eterna haven't found their fame yet, but for us that means we can pick up some beautifully made Swiss watches for very good prices. Watches with heritage, innovation and beauty. Thank you for watching. If you have liked this video, please consider subscribing as I'll be making more content in the future.